What's up, guys? My name is Michael Wilson, and I'm an alcoholic, but I've given up the drinks. And tonight, I'm talking about letting go of limiting beliefs, letting go of fears. And what keeps you in a fearful state is alcohol. Alcohol consumption, alcohol addiction is heavily influenced by fear and being on the hamster wheel of fear. Because what do we do to cure our anxiety, our depression, our bad feelings that we don't like? We pick up the drinks. Pick up the drinks, drown out the feelings, and just want to wash it all away. And that's no way to live, you know? That's no way to live a real life, a true life, one where you have real emotions, real feelings, real thoughts, a real life. And this is something you only start to realize when you get sober. I'm sober for just about 2 months now, and it's just the best feeling that I could ever describe, Finally being on the other side of needing the alcohol to drown out my anxiety and depression, really. Like, I wouldn't have considered myself depressed. I would never have told anyone that I feel like I'm depressed or I feel like I'm low, but there was obviously something about life that was making me depressed enough to want to drink every day and get drunk, and that was alcohol. It is a depressant. Most people know that. And so when you get out of the fear state, that you're trying to cure with alcohol, then it opens up a whole new level of life. It opens up all the new doors in your mind, in your life, because you move through life differently at that point. You don't have any real fear, or you can then start to look at fear in a different way, and that it's something that's actually good for you and that you need to move toward in life. You need to move toward the things that keep you scared or keep you anxious or, keep you living small. We're all meant to break out of those things that make us feel that way, because that's where growth happens. And if you're drinking alcohol, you're never going to grow. You're never going to break out of your shell, because alcohol keeps you in that shell. It keeps you in that comfortable little space of not needing to do anything outside of your comfort, to do anything different, just have the same thoughts, the same feelings, have the same conversations, when you drink with your buddies or whatever. And it's all just boring. It's all just boring. It's all the same. Um, and it's all based around fear, and especially when people get together, people that you drink with, it's something that people do to cure their fear. I mean, everyone knows that you do it to lower your inhibitions. That's what makes it easier to talk to people and to be in, groups of people and not worry about like what you're saying. And this is going to stifle your growth. This is a problem. You need to grow as a human being. We need to keep growing. We need to get out of our comfort zone, out of our shells. And that's when the real spice of life happens. That's when your real life begins, is when you step out of your comfort zone. And alcohol is keeping you in that comfort zone. It's keeping you nice and warm and cozy and comfortable, right there in that feeling that, you want to get over and over. Excuse me. And that you need to go back to every day. It keeps you on the hamster wheel. And you think that you need the drinks in order to cure that fear, because the fear does come up even more so when you're hungover, or when you're you're off the drinks. And that's why it's that much more enticing to go get that drink, because that immediately cures that feeling. It immediately dulls it down, makes it go away. And even if you don't think that's a part of what's going on, it really truly is. You're on some level wanting to dull your experience of life, of feeling those real feelings, of feeling the real emotions, and living through that. Breaking through the fear, facing your fears, growing as a human. And we need to face our fears in life. And the first fear that you need to face is looking at your consumption of alcohol and at least starting to give it up. I always say, if they could give you a pill that would make you feel